In the previous video, we looked at how to copy a protected worksheet professionally, not by using copy and paste, but by using the equals sign. In this video, we're going to look at how you format the data in that worksheet. Well, first of all, I'm going to turn all this data, or everything you can see on the screen, into Georgia 12-point text. Now I need to highlight all the text, and what I could do is pull and drag, and that would take forever. A much simpler way to do things is to click on this button in the corner. That highlights everything for you automatically. Now I can change font so that I get, and if I knew my alphabet it would go a lot quicker, Georgia 12-point. Now I use Georgia because numbers and letters matter in a spreadsheet. You need to be able to see the difference between a 0 and an O, between a 1 and an L. And sans serif fonts are not very good at that. A serif font is much better. And a serif font such as Georgia is better still because numbers and letters are different sizes. So using Georgia 12-point is probably a good idea. Now, how do we go about making sure that all the headings, for example, are in bold? To do that, I select the row that I want and click on the bold button. That way all the headings are now in bold. Easy. But what about, say, this votes column here? Here, this is just a whole series of numbers, and what I'd really like is for them to be comma separated by thousands. Now, if you're from the continent or you've been educated somewhere that uses the continental system, you'll use a dot for separating thousands and a comma for decimal places. Here in Britain, it's the other way round. So, if I want to change all these votes in this column so that they're all comma separated by thousands, I highlight the column by pressing on the column letter and then just click on the comma button. That does it straight away. But you'll notice it's also added decimal places that I don't want. The number of people who voted cannot be a decimal number. Whole people vote. You can't get point something of a person voting. So I need to get rid of those decimal places, and to do that I click on the Decrease Decimal Places button. Once, twice, and the decimal places are gone. Now the next problem I have is turning something into a percent. The data in the original spreadsheet, the original CSV file, has these numbers in it. If I try and turn that into percentages, it will not work. I'll show you. If I click on the percent button, we now get 5,190%, which is not something that we want. So I'm going to press Ctrl and Z to undo. The reason for that is that percentages work on numbers between 0 and 1. So had I wanted 51.9%, that cell would actually have to contain 0.519, not the 51.9. Now in real life you'd make a note of the fact that you couldn't change the layout of column J and then move on to the next one. Position, that's fine, but electorate, well, that's those comma separated thousands again. I click on the comma, decrease the number of decimal places, and that's done. Now I'm on to some money columns. I can highlight several columns, many of them if I want, and if I want to turn these into pounds, all I do is click on the currency button. Clicking on that makes those pounds. So we can go through all the columns in the spreadsheet, changing the format quickly and easily so that we can see exactly what's going on. Others can too. But now you'll have noticed another major problem. The cell widths are not big enough for the data they contain. We could just drag each column so that it's a bit wider and so on, but that's a pain. No, what we do is we use the magic Select All button again, and then double click on any barrier between two columns. So here I'm between C and D. If I double click here now, the columns will all find the widest data in that column and make that column that width, plus a little bit just to allow a bit of space. So now I've got all the data columns exactly the way I'd like them. Cool. And that wasn't even a particularly difficult job. So what we've looked at in this video is how to format large sections of data quickly and easily. We've seen that we can use the Select All button at the top here to make changes to all the data at one time. We can click on a row button to change the way that row looks, and we can click on a column button to change the way that that column looks. In the next video, we're going to look to see how we can select a particular set of data. See you there.